Mike Johnson of Louisiana wins the House Republican nomination to keep his position. Majority Leader Steve Scalise also won the support of his Republican peers to retain his job.
And as Sabrina Wilson reports, it came after House Republicans' internal vote.
On election night, Republican House Majority Leader Steve Scalise made it clear he wanted to keep his position if Republicans retain control of the House.
We all have to run our races and go make our case to our colleagues. I've been on the road with a lot of my colleagues and got a lot of support already.
Now various networks have called the House for Republicans. Republicans had already won control of the Senate last week.
So I think the success of President Trump helped the Republicans both in the House and in the Senate to capture those majorities. So it doesn't really surprise me at all.
Both Scalise and House Speaker Mike Johnson hail from Louisiana. Johnson said earlier this week,
I'll work with whatever margin I have. We've demonstrated we can do that already. But I think you're going to have a very different mood in the Republican conference going forward because we do have a unified government. We have an extraordinary opportunity ahead of us.
Dillard University political analyst Dr. Robert Collins worked on Capitol Hill for years. He says it's not common to see the top two leaders in the House come from the same state.
So it's just a very, very rare state of affairs because, of course, most of the time members of Congress want to spread the wealth amongst the states.
President-elect Donald Trump is reportedly considering outgoing Louisiana Congressman Garrett Graves for Transportation Secretary, a cabinet position the Senate would need to approve. I asked Senator Bill Cassidy about talk of Graves being up for Transportation Chief.
Absolutely support Garrett becoming a Secretary of Transportation. It's something he's thought a lot about. He's worked on the committee on the House of Representatives. I think he's eminently qualified.
Even though Cassidy voted to convict Trump after the January 6th insurrection, he congratulates him on his win and on whether Cassidy is running for re-election in a couple of years.
I've not announced yet, but obviously I'm working hard towards 2026. So let me just say, if they're judging candidates on how much they've done for our state, on the over $10 billion that have come to help fix Louisiana's infrastructure, to rebuild our coastline, to build roads and bridges. So I look forward to running on my record. Again, I've not announced yet, but when the election comes, I'll be able to point to a lot of accomplishments for our state.
Today's internal GOP vote was by voice vote rather than roll call or ballots. Now, the rest of the top GOP leaders were also reelected. Come January, there will be a full House vote on the lower chamber's leadership. Lauren?